we will start tonight in Fort Lauderdale and the project that reportedly they pulled the plug. And it's kind of one that was surprising because at first it seemed like it was, one that couldn't go wrong. For anybody who's not familiar with the situation, Fort Lauderdale supposedly gave away $35 million worth of land, and in the end have gotten absolutely nothing in return. So now they're trying to take it back.
The gist is this guy who was involved or is involved in nightlife, a guy named Jeff John, CEO of Damn Good Hospitality. He's in nightlife in Fort Lauderdale. He operated venues like Revolution Live, right? Warren American Whiskey Kitchen. So he was connected down there and probably had connections within the community and had a cool proposal and a cool idea. But this guy's not a developer. You gave somebody $35 million worth of land and tied it up for a few years to give him a shot. Now, I think the reality is like this isn't the end of the world. They'll get the land back, right? But again, I think what would have been worse is like poor execution. Having something there that is otherwise not as good as it could have been if you paid like a real guy. They gave him no deadline to start construction. The only clause that it says is it must finish within 3 years of pulling a building permit. But guess what? No building permit's ever been pulled. So technically, this guy could fight this probably. I'm sure the city's going to win and get their land back.
Well, why? Why would you even fight this? You obviously were in over your head. You made a mistake. Move on.
They were supposed to have a cultural center. 75,000 square feet interior, 45,000 square feet exterior, 2,000 seat capacity for live events, restaurant concept with 200 seats, a marketplace with 54,000 square feet interior and 4K square feet exterior, restaurants with 800 seats, distillery with 150 seats. I mean, this thing's cool, man.
We're going back to West Palm Beach, and why not?
West Palm Beach.
There's a
balance between the cities.
Yeah, back in Palm Beach County in West Palm, there's updated plans for a $2 billion marina redevelopment. For people who aren't familiar with the Rybovich Marina.
Yeah, it's right off of North Flagler, basically.
Anyway, if you haven't seen it, looking at some of the renderings, as they always do, it looks really nice. What started as one tower, now it's two, and they're two massive condo buildings, clubhouses, pools, office space, even pickleball courts.
This is a real operational luxury marina in place right now. And you know what's interesting about this is like it's like North Flagler. So I mean, look at how far from downtown West Palm this is. They're talking $2 billion project, and it's in Northwood. This project makes sense. It makes sense because of the marina, right? Like if you're a big boat owner, it's not easy to find a place to keep your boat. And so if you're a big boat owner owning a condo and having the marina set up right there is very efficient. One, for your staff, for storage of all the stuff you have. A lot of these big boat owners have another storage unit somewhere like close by as well. So it's nice just to fly in, stay in the condo, then jump on the boat. It's just a very efficient process. It's not too far from downtown. I think this project makes sense, even though it's like far, in my opinion.
But it's a straight shot. It's like 10 minutes at tops from downtown.
My only issue with all of this is, and like people have to adapt to this when they come to South Florida, is $2 billion project across the street, $400,000 dump, right? So like that's what you're building into. Like you're building on that.
The Bacora project in Boca gained city approval. It's not your typical development, though. It's set inside the Amtech Center Business Park, which the project is turning underused commercial space into a hybrid residential community, complete with a private school and a boutique public gym.
There's just a ton of office and like light industrial type stuff. 298 units on 4 acres right there. The project was previously approved as an 8-story, 277 unit building. It's like outside the core downtown market where people go bananas when anybody tries to do something. They're going to put in 1 to 3 bedroom mixed use apartments with 4 units reserved as workforce housing. So a little bit of workforce housing. They're going to have amenities, the standard stuff, right? Fitness center, decent sized fitness center, 2,000 square feet, pool, dog park, business center, 6-story garage with 636 spots. Parking's a big deal these days, and everybody seems to be focused on it. 2,000 square feet for a private school.
Let's go back to Fort Lauderdale, as evidently Fort Lauderdale site could be rezoned for townhomes in what is a very flood-prone neighborhood. Now, for people who aren't familiar with it, you know, when you rewind to April of 2023, Edgewood had made national headlines for all the wrong reasons. Now a $67 million townhome plan is on the table right in the heart of a flood zone.
They paid $4.85 million for it in 2020, this parcel, right? And it's right next to St. Jerome Catholic Parish. And I don't think the flood zone thing is the reason not to put I don't know if that's an argument to not put them there, because they can prepare the land accordingly. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like that's a thing for sure. They can dig down, they can make sure drainage is good, and they could probably add additional infrastructure like sewer mains, etc., that maybe help. And maybe that's a good thing. So maybe structuring some kind of deal where like they help the community not flood so much.
Yeah.
You know, like this is a thing. Like developers pay for roads, they build roads, they do, you know, drainage infrastructure. They do these things as an agreement or as a like, yes, please, we'll do this if you let us build. If you let us,
I get it.
Yeah. And so like some kind of structure like that might actually be the best solution here for the neighborhood, for the community. And so that could be interesting to see what they decide to do. Looks like the zone they went to zoning on the 17th. And so we'll see where that actually takes them, because they need city council approval and formal site plan. And that was supposed to happen on the 17th. So we'll see if that actually got done or was pushed. TBD.
Well, let's move on to the South Florida housing market, which I found this very interesting because I've seen so many national reports how overall this is the most balanced the housing market has been nationally, again, in the last 5 years. And yet, according to Realtor.com, if you take into account the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach metro areas, it is the most unbalanced housing market in the entire country. Supply's up, as you have talked about many, many times. Supply is up nearly 10 months worth. And of course, the prices are falling. So yeah, it's brutal. Larry, for people who don't follow this stuff so closely, what do we need to know about the unbalanced housing market here?
Overall, when you compare South Florida to the national statistics, I mean, our month's supply of inventory or our absorption rate is like bananas high, which is very much so in the buyer's territory, buyer's market territory. So we're no longer in that seller's market range in South Florida. Now, the strength or the intensity of the market varies based on product type, right? Condo 55 and up for 200 grand is a terrible market, right? It's the worst, right? And then for like a 4-story condo building for 200 grand in a 55 and up community, it's a disaster. Okay. And then you have like varying levels of like what's better. So single family home, non-HOA community, maybe best right now, right? Workforce housing, apartment buildings for sale, those things are selling at strong numbers. They're feeling some softness, but strong numbers.
I don't know how familiar you are with the software giant ServiceNow, but evidently they are turning their back on California. It's the latest big company that's heading to West Palm Beach, building a new headquarters and bringing 850 employees with them. And lo and behold, our friend Steve Ross is got a hand in this because he has been luring big companies, not just to some of the places that he's built so far in downtown West Palm Beach. He's just pulling in big companies in general as his mission to turn West Palm Beach into the Wall Street of the South. It's looking pretty good right now. He has helped lure a $150 billion company into downtown West Palm. Okay, so ServiceNow is one of the most powerful enterprise software companies in the world. They have plans to open a 200,000 square foot headquarters. It's an AI institute as well, smack dab in downtown West Palm.
The need to be in Silicon Valley is not as important for these big companies, especially ones that are kind of situated. They kind of got their situation together and maybe don't need that like direct access or connection to the Silicon Valley hub, where I'm sure there's a lot going on, right? So it's just not the automatic choice anymore. And then you combine that with like, hey, it makes more business sense to be in an area that doesn't tax the heck out of us or have regulatory hurdles.
That's what's doing it.
Or the surrounding homes don't cost $2 million median price. You know what I mean? Like even still, like if you put yourself in San Francisco or Silicon Valley or West Palm is cheaper, even though we say West Palm's expensive.
Yeah,
like
in comparison, oh my God, compared to California, are you kidding?
Florida ranks number 31 in violent crime nationally, compared to California, number 6. Yeah, the high corporate and personal income tax, plus strict regulations, push companies away from California. Yeah, all the stuff we already know.
Governor Ron DeSantis, he is targeting local spending in Florida, and we're busting out some serious audits to counties across the state. He's not messing around. He has his own Doge team to dig through city and county budgets across the state. It originally started out as a budget check, and it's quickly turning into a political storm because that's what happens. So let's break down what's going on here. This was February 2025. Everybody's, getting crazy about the Doge stuff. So DeSantis has his own Florida Doge team. And then in March, he meets with Musk, and DeSantis returns $878 million in federal funds and push for NASA's headquarters to move to Florida, because why not? Yeah. And it seems like, DeSantis is all about this Doge task force.
So he returned a bunch of money. That's awesome, right? It's like, here's $878 million in federal funds. And then he said, NASA, move to Florida. I think maybe NASA headquarters maybe goes to Orlando, right? That probably makes sense, right? Instead of like, because like, I don't know, where NASA actually operates is not super developed, right? So, yeah. But this is, props to like, let's stop wasting money here and let's get this done.